Okay, great panel. So our next panel is from the theme of this, and as Mary Jo just mentioned, is these things take time. So let's all close our eyes. Let's fast forward, hopefully 6 months, most likely 12 months, 24 months. But MLSs are up and running in every country in Europe, and not just Europe, but beyond that. Therein lies another problem. So how do you create these systems internally to be able to then enforce the rules and ensure that the MLS is running properly? So with that, I'd like to introduce our next moderator, Terri Murphy. And Terri, want to come up and introduce your panel?
Do I need this? Hi, I'm Terri Murphy from the United States without a wonderful accent. It's strictly Chicago, sorry. But I do have a glitterati of panel to discuss with you some of the rules and regulations and the discussion on how that needs to go going forward. I'll give you some background. My work with Saul Klein makes me somewhat okay to be up here. We've worked together how many years? 30? We were children, yes. So I want to introduce, have Zola come up. Zola. We don't say Zola's last name, we just call him Zola, the speaker. Super Zola. And Zola will tell us a little bit about himself when we get everybody up here. I would also like to invite up here the beautiful Marika Abuashvili. How did I do? Amazing woman who got to work both in the United States and in her country of Georgia, which makes her uniquely well situated to speak to us today. And of course, nothing would be fun without him, Dan Negulescu. We hope you all took vitamins or had an espresso because you will need it when we work with Daniel. I say that with love in my heart. And of course, we've got Irena Perfanova from CEPI. And I'm excited to be part of this because I never thought I would be able to be with such amazing people. And I got to do some pre-interviews with them. I've had a real estate license myself since before most of you were born. I've seen the evolutions. Saul and I did. Saul, nobody knew what a 3-ring binder was. For those of us from the United States, for those of you not, it's 3 rings in a binder, basically, which is how we had MLS information. And if you dropped it in the parking lot, you were not going to have information for another 2 weeks, if you recall. So it's been an evolution with MLS, and I've been a part of it for a long time, not in the roles that these people have been through, but I think it'll be very interesting for us to understand their process and their observations and their visions for what's going forward. And I'd like to go through each one of you to introduce yourself a little bit for background, for relevance. And so, Dan, you want to start?
I want, but I cannot.
I can. Yes, you can.
Hi, I'm Dan Negulescu. I'm from Romania. I'm a real estate agent from '99, and I'm a realtor from 2005.
There's more to that, Daniel. There's
That's
more to that.
That's more.
Yes.
So, I'm a real NAR fan. I started the Romanian Association of Real Estate Professionals because I cannot say realtors. NAR didn't allow us to call us realtors. I know, I understand why. But we are realtors, all of us. All of us are international realtor members, and we are very proud of it. We have MLS, and by the way, I have to tell you that I learned a lot these 2 days, 1.5, 2 days. Congratulations, Czech Republic, for what you did. Bravo, excellent, fantastic. I learned that you can start an MLS from different points of view. They started with the organization. They started with the rules. They started with the right partners. Everything is fantastic, and I wish you a lot of success. We started from craziness of 2 people. One people is my good friend Sorin Udrea from Romania, who introduced in Romania the idea of exclusive representation. and he brought an MLS from United States, Flex MLS from United States, for his company at the beginning. After that, he started to think how to expand the MLS to the association that was then in force in Romania. The second crazy guy, it's me, who after a course of CIPS course in Bucharest back in 2004, I decided to go to United States at my first real estate conference in 2005. And there I promised myself that I will have this in my country. And we did. And I matched with him. The rest is history. And now we have in Romania, let's say, a NAR local association which called APAIR. So that's about us. Thank you.
Thank you. Marika.
Hello, I'm Marika Abuashvili. I'll just introduce myself for now. I am 25 plus years realtor, managing broker in one of the largest Cold War Banker Bain offices in West Coast, which is not so much about me, but very much about experience that I was able to generate through that time. I'm also Georgian, and so happened in my life that I had to return to Georgia 7 years ago. So that makes me now Georgian real estate practitioner, not so much practitioner, but trainer. So my role in Georgia is to try to bring and implement American values, American method of doing real estate in Georgia and help local real estate agents grow faster and be more successful and be professionals. So I'm kind of a bridge between Georgia and the United States right now.
And a beautiful bridge, that's true. Zola is in Florida, and you got, okay, share with us some of your background. And
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Zola Szerences, born and raised in Budapest, Hungary. I live currently in Orlando, Florida, and been in the business for 21 years, which has been in a while. And the best way to describe that, I had the great opportunity to sit in each side of the table, meaning as an agent in production, also as a broker, owner, manager, as well as a trainer, mentor, and I am also currently serving in various capacities at the National Association of Realtors, as well as the REBI, which is the Real Estate Business Institute, which is the largest affiliated organization for the National Association of Realtors.
oh, you're not getting off that easy. He also just got Instructor of the Universe at NAR.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love when I make him blush. Irena.
Hello, everyone. My name is Irena Perfanova. I'm coming from Bulgaria. I'm a part of the board of directors of CEPI, the European Real Estate Association of the Real Estate Professionals, as well past president of the National Real Estate Association in Bulgaria, broker with 30 years experience and 15 years of them like realtor, a member of the National Association of Realtors. During my activities like leader in our local organization, we created our local MLS, thanks with the partnership with one of the biggest geodesic company in Bulgaria, which is very well technology developed. What happened, we created our local rules for the MLS, we created the technology, the rules were given by the National Association of Realtors, the management of this MLS were given by the National Association of Realtors, but already 3 years it doesn't work properly. It is still free for our members. Later I will explain what is the problem and why it doesn't work. Doesn't matter that we have technology, we have rules, but we have also local mentality, and behind this local mentality staying the holistic part of the MLS.
Well, part of our challenges, as you mentioned, is a mentality and mindset. And Saul, you and I spoke about that years and years ago when we were taking the terror out of technology, literally running around the United States, making sure that people knew what HTTP really meant. And so socialization takes time and it takes trust. And that's what you're going to hear from these overachievers, is because they saw the concept, they saw the brilliance of it, but it's a different story when it's not personalized in a relationship. And so, Daniel, one of the things that I thought was really amazing when you and I had a pre-interview was you said you looked in the mirror at that guy, and what did you say?
You have to do this in your country.
Well, you had another word for yourself, but yes.
Well, unless you are an stupid professional, let's say. Yeah.
And so when you brought this concept back, tell us about how the rules and regulations were part of the trust factor, but also part of the standardization that was required. And how did you get that sold to those people?
It's not yet solved.
Well, we didn't say what.
I just learned also that even if we think we have an MLS, we are not having an MLS because MLS is changing day by day. And we are very open to these changes, and I'm looking forward to go home and together with Ilana and all my colleagues to bring to the Romanian realtors these knowledges that I found out here. The beginning was extremely difficult, not because of the software, which was difficult for them. Imagine back in 2006, nobody understood how many fields, why should I fill it, all these fields? Come on, take a picture with the phone, that's it. This was back then. I'm not saying now it's different, but it was really difficult to teach them how to use the MLS and why to use the MLS and change the mentality. Unfortunately, and now I'm talking about Romania only, we are still at the beginning, even if it's 15 years of experience, but we are 300 out of, I don't know, 10,000. Because not having a law, not having regulations in my country, everything is what we think it is. We think we are 10,000 real estate agents. We know that we are 300 realtors. We know that we have MLS, and we know that we have hundreds of listings, but that's it. The rest we don't know. So it's difficult, it needs a lot of work, a lot of consolidation. But what is very interesting is that we can prove our success. I mean, the guys which are using MLS can prove any moment the listings, the sold, the results of them, as opposed with the other professionals which can brag about it, but nobody knows what is in the back. So we are transparent, we are open, and we are honest. This is what I can say so far.
Well, here's the thing about regulations. I mean, people think that they're restrictive when in fact they're confidence.
Without regulation, we cannot do anything. Imagine we don't have regulation on the streets. You will be hit by bicycles like me. It happened, by the way, Saturday. So we need regulations. Regulations are not to force us to do something bad. The regulations are to help us to do something good. This is what I'm seeing, of course, if the regulations are not crazy. But in this industry, in the MLS industry, regulations are helping us to do two things. I can say that because I'm not in America, number one. And number two, the guy who said this, Norm Flynn, is now with God. If you use MLS and you use all the ethics, you have two reasons. Make more money and stay out of jail. So Norm Flynn taught us this. Remain here, Norm Flynn being one of the mentors
And he was the past president of
NAR and one of the mentors of the Global. He teach us this, and I will never forget this. So I want to make more money in my country and in all Europe and stay out of jail. How we make more money? By cooperating. how stay out of jail by respecting the rules.
Well, you referred to it as collaboration, and it benefits the consumer because we're all here because it benefits the consumer. We don't have a job without the consumer buying housing, and we know you can't live under your car. So it's necessary for these rules and regulations for us to give confidence and trust. And Marika, you had the most amazing opportunity to have so many years practicing real estate in the United States up in the Seattle area, which I'm familiar with, and then going back to Georgia. What can you tell us about the support or non-support that you got when you went to Georgia?
Well, I'll try to be brief because it could be a very long story. But I can just tell you about emotional experiences when I was in Seattle area and when I was in Georgia, Tbilisi. So imagine me, just normal real estate broker, in the morning about 6 a.m., still in my pajamas, running downstairs to my office because I could not wait to open the MLS and see what's going on, what happened, is anything new on the market, is the prices down, are the prices, did that house that they loved yesterday, is it sold? I hope it didn't sold because they didn't make up their mind yesterday. So all of this drama, which is so addictive, and that's what that's my relationship with MLS, which is probably very similar for many, many, many of my colleagues in that area, in US, I mean. So coming to Tbilisi, I told you yesterday about that first professional question to real estate community was, do you guys have MLS? And they said, well, MLS, what's that? And so that's when I almost died because my addiction to that wonderful, wonderful thing was not going to thrive there anymore. So I thought, okay, what can I do to make it happen? Okay, let me explain to them how wonderful it is, and maybe we can find somebody who can do it. And looks like they already at that time were talking to several providers about this. And then that wasn't enough. So I thought, well, we have to start earlier, dig deeper. So I think I can say it with a pride that I was the first one who taught Code of Ethics in Georgia in Georgian language. And I thought that was the beginning. And with amazing help of my colleagues in National Association of Realtors of Georgia, I was able to do a couple more trainings and then kind of start explaining things to them. I created a couple of courses because I realized just giving the tool to somebody, even if it's amazing, is not enough. You have to prepare people for that mentally, emotionally. You have to show them the benefits of it. You have to instill the culture of sharing and collaborating. And I think we accomplished a lot in Georgia just within this past maybe 5 years or so, where I see the tendency where agents do want to collaborate, when they do want to share with each other. They don't mind sharing commission, which probably is the most difficult thing to accomplish, right? So all of this is happening, but then going back to the topic of the rules, like Dan mentioned, like if there's no rules, what do we do? I'm personally the type of person that likes to read manuals. I like manuals. If I buy, I don't know, washing machine, I want to know exactly what it's doing and what other options are available for me. Everything I want to know.
I just want to push wash, yeah.
Yeah, no, not me. So that's why I think that, and that's because then I can utilize it fully, right? Same with rules and regulations for any systems, and therefore for real estate platforms as well. And not to take much of your time, I want to say this, that from experience in Georgia, I can tell you that not having rules and regulations, just having technological platform or technology provider absolutely is not enough, because we actually went to that point many times with association that, oh, great, let's do this, all these features, great, wonderful, but then it comes to the rules, administration of that platform, who does what, how do you supervise it, how do you do compliance, and how do you check the data, accuracy of it, how do you see if it listing truly is exclusive, does it mean they have to upload this listing in MLS or not, and all of those other things, which is not there yet. So rules and regulations are very important because it's a map for future activities.
The important concept here is, though, if there's a start. and start once we, and Saul has been his mantra about value. There's a value to it. There's a value to expectation, to boundaries, even in relationships, let alone in a technological way. Because the consumer needs to know what that 0.5 means. Is it a half a bath or is it one bath? Those are the kinds of things that people need to know when they buy a property. So, Marika, one of the things I did want to mention, though, is that you carried this even farther. She is an overachiever. For how many years you were the executive board member of the International Chamber of Commerce in Georgia and the chair of the Real Estate Commission. What that does is give her celebrity authority. So people know that she knows what she's talking. She reads the manuals, okay? Who reads the manuals? I mean, you throw them away, they're kind of in the way. So bless your heart for that, as we say in the South. And I'd like Zola to give a little information about himself. And since you're in Florida, which is one of the largest MLSs around, tell us a little bit about your experience and what you see as a challenge for rules and regulations coming up.
Well, thank you so much for that question, because it's a hot topic in these days, right? So let me just mention, we have 255,000 realtors only in the state of Florida out of the 1.5 million members, right? So let me just, and I know you know this, but for those of us who does not know this, is we have real estate agents and we have realtors, right? Realtors are the ones who subscribe to the strict code of ethics. Therefore, you have the opportunity to belong to the National Association of Realtors. And every single time when I have an opportunity to ask in an audience about what do you think about the levels of responsibilities as an agent, realtor, or a broker you have once you're in this business? And most of the time, I am shocked with the responses because, and I'm going to turn this into a European version of it in a second as well, but just for you to understand how we operate in the United States. So we have a licensing law, right? Each state, they have different requirements. Some is more comprehensive than others. So you have 60, 200, 400 hours of education. Boom, you get licensed as a real estate agent. The second level of rules and regulations, what we need to follow, and this is when I lose the audience usually, it's your office policies. Because once you, a licensee, order for you to be an active real estate agent, you need to associate your license with a brokerage. And brokerages have to have and should have a very thorough office policy, which can dictate a lot of things, by the way, including compensation as well. Okay? So licensing law, office policy. Now the third layer of rules and regulations, what we should be subscribing to, is once that agent is decide to join the local real estate association, which is with the three-way agreement also going to belong to their state and National Association of Realtors. So now they have to prescribe to the Code of Ethics, which we've been talking in the past day and a half. Dan was mentioning that yesterday. It is kind of like our Bible. It is kind of the promise. It's our promise for our consumers and clients, ultimately to our own business, right? So, licensing, office policy, code of ethics via associations. And the fourth layer, it's your MLS rules and regulations.
Because how many layers total?
So this is it, 4. 4, just to keep it like, you know, organized, right? So the last one would be the MLS rules and regulations. So agents can just, you know, put half information on the property. It's going to kick it back, so on and so forth. So this is the US version, and I was promised you about the European version since we are in Paris, and we have CEPI here with 24 representatives from each countries. Here is the thing. I always hear this, you know, there is no licensing law, Zola, here. Or yes, there is a licensing law here. it does not matter at the end of the day. Because your organization can create your own licensing, which is your code of ethics and your rules and regulations. Because at the end of the day, it does not matter what part of the world we are, professionals are hungry to be professionals. They are hungry to serve their consumers better, so ultimately they have more business and they make more money. And our organizations should strive to help these individuals, members, to be their best, what they can be. Because at the end of the day, it's always better to be on the bus than under the bus.
And now you can see why he's a premier instructor. Irena.
So, what I wanted to say concerning this part of MLS, which is more holistic and more connected with people. What is the problem which we meet in Bulgaria? This is non-regulated market. I know that in France, you have in America as well, there is very good regulation, professional regulation. We don't have any kind of professional regulation. It means that brokers and agents can do whatever they want to do. So there is a practice on the market to collect commission from both sides, if it is possible. Of course, if one broker represents one side, another broker another side, they will collect each other of their clients. But if one broker represents both sides, he or she is free to collect 2 commissions. The normal commission in Bulgaria is 2.5–3%. In most of the cases in the big cities, this is 3% plus VAT. Imagine that every one broker wants to take both commissions. That's why in the open listing, which is in the internet real estate portals, under a lot of advertisement is written, this offer is just for direct clients. If we imagine that it is written under all advertisement, it means that we, like broker, will never communicate with us. We will start just looking for direct final buyers. Why? Because the broker wants to take both commissions. This is very, very against MLS policy. And because the last several years, the market was very, very dynamic, and it was very easy brokers to touch the final clients, they were not satisfied and stimulated to put their offers in the MLS and to trying to share business with other colleagues on the market. Of course, when we have this freedom to take commission from both sides, if the broker of the seller who have exclusive representations and put this offer in the MLS decided to share part of his commission to the broker's side from the buyer, it means that the broker from buyer's side will take one commission from the broker, from his client, and another part of the commission of the broker of the seller. So it's not fair game. And of course, in this situation, we meet the mentality of the local market and the wishes of the brokers to think, first of all, for their commission, and on the second place, for the interest of the clients.
Well, we know that's a hot topic right now. We have 2 minutes left, so I know you both have a comment. Maybe all three. Can you make us quick?
May I go?
Please.
Yeah, me. I just want to take, kind of summarize this, and I think I just had something to tell you all, especially for those who represent emerging markets where MLS is still a struggle or it doesn't exist anymore. I just want to take a little different twist and take a torch from Zola. He talked about code of ethics. I think code of ethics is by itself rules and regulations.
Yes.
It's ethical rules and regulations without which nothing will happen. And I think it's prequel to MLS rules and regulations because it clearly states everything. Responsibilities to the client, responsibilities to the public, and responsibilities to each other as professional. Once that is clear, nothing like happens in Bulgaria, which happens in Georgia every day too, will happen because it's unethical, because our first duty is to represent client, and in our Bible, that's exactly what it says. So code of ethics first, and then MLS perhaps will slide in easier.
Thank you. Dan?
I have to confess shamefully that exactly the same thing is happening to Romania too. The same like in Bulgaria, the same like in Georgia. But our miracle weapon is education. And the golden bullet is Zola. Because Zola came to Romania, I don't know, 15 years ago, first time, by accident. I was his accident. And he started to teach us the basics based on code of ethics, how to work with the sellers, how to work with the buyers, how to negotiate. I mean, all the REBI courses, all NAR courses, we have mandatory code of ethics courses every year for every member. I know in NAR is 2 years or 3 years now. Three. In Romania is every year. Of course, a lot of people say, why do we need again to do the code of ethics? Exactly that why. Exactly because you need to understand the ethics. And from the ethics, education, and showing the others your success, then you can be successful. And now what I heard, and I want to thank all of you, that it is a special moment right now. Maybe because of the situation from America, maybe because DOJ. Thank you, DOJ, Department of Justice, that brought this problem. I want to forget about this problem, but to take only the good things, which is cooperation, which is this type of meetings, which can really help each of us. This is
Thank
what I
you.
want to say.
Zola, because I want to wind this up because we're out of time, but here's what I'd like you to take home with you, wherever home is. Different countries, different ethnicities, different discussions, different protocols. At the end of the day, everybody wants the same thing. They want trust and they want gratitude. Sales is leadership. Leadership provides gratitude because it brings you to a discovery of a place you've not been in a walk that you don't walk. And so I would say, tell us thank you in your beautiful language.
Mulțumesc frumos pentru participare. Vă iubesc.
Which is why I did not say that. Okay.
Didi Madloba.
Köszönöm szépen.
Благодаря.
Molto piacere. Thank you.